Hey, what's happening, everybody out there in Twitch land? My name is GM Dave, and I am your host and dungeon master for Roleplay Games, the Burnished Band. And allow me now to introduce to you my players. And if you have noticed, we do have a new overlay just for all of you, courtesy of Miss Senora Medusa. Thank you for putting it together for me. AKA Adita. All right, after Adita, we have the one, the only, the silent champion of justice, Nico Valborda.
Sup?
And next to Nico, we have a new player entering the scene tonight. She is mysterious. We don't know much about her, except her nameplate says she is called Fortuna. Say hi, Fortuna. Next, beneath Fortuna, you know him, you love him, he loves lamb. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to reintroduce you the one and only Ceres.
This reminds me of the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch.
Oh, I thought you were going to finish. You kind of left
No.
us all hanging there.
Yeah,
How could you do that?
I'm very good at
Could
it.
we not have things hanging this early in the stream?
No.
And
Right.
last but not
Setting
least,
up for phrasing.
a fellow streamer and a good personal friend. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Theodora, played by Shadow Shura.
Happy to be here.
All right. And I am fixing Nico's camera because for some odd reason it seemed
Off-centered.
Yes. I shall recenter him. There. I think that's it.
Almost. There you go.
Yeah. Nico, stop moving. Okay.
No.
So, Liz Fortuna, just to let you know, we have a little tradition on this channel, especially in this game. Everybody participating in this adventure, roll me a d20 for the F-bomb.
Me! I'm glad I got my one out of the way early.
So, like, we're gonna have just
Oh, we got a tie.
Oh,
wow.
The new person gets it.
Of course.
Goodness gracious.
Welcome.
Probably has
Happy
nothing to do with the
F-bomb
name.
for
Nico,
you.
I
Aditas.
think that they deserve a -7, all right? They named themselves Fortuna, all right, to give them an extra kick in this game.
well.
Well, Stewie, we know Theodora is probably going to steal it at some point.
That's true.
Been very good the past several streams.
That's true. They have been very good.
Very good for extremely specific measurements. Of very.
So,
in very specific circumstances, I have been good.
Lady Fortuna, you have the F-bomb for the evening, and you may use it at your leisure. All right, the heroes have been gathered. The setting has been set. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready for tonight's episode of The Burnished Band.
The rise and fall of empires drives Arcanus. Their petty dramas played out against the backdrop of civilizations. Peaceable halflings, Insector de Sori and Ilhuan, they were all of them wiped out by the unstoppable force of reptilian Sethragor, whose magic twisted the elemental lords to forge the Elori. Elf-like children of nature, enslaved by Sethragoran might, abused by their cruel creators, the Elori revolted. They carved out a time of peace and order on Onara, a time when gods walked the earth. But peace is not the story of Arcanus. Ancient ships brought the humans to Onara. They slew the Elori gods, all but one. The human kingdoms rose and fell, and a dark human power grew in a mandragore. The sorcerer king who drew magic and power to him with unnatural might. In his arrogance, a curse was laid. The infernal hordes spewed forth across the world, crushing human, dwarf, and Elori in their wake. Rising to meet them, a last alliance of humanity, The Koryani Empire, forged in a time of legend. But the age of legends is long past, and the Koryani Empire is fading. The Ilori of the Vast would return. The Sorcerer King, maybe Mandragore, sends black ships to capture all with arcane potential. Sethragor gathers power in dark machinations, and the human nations point swords at one another. Now, the mortal future is at stake. Heroes must choose the greatest good as often as the lesser of two evils. Arcanis, the world of shattered empires.
Where we last left our heroes, they are in the Morantian section of Sweet Savona to investigate a series of disappearances. While there, they did discover that a traveling companion by the name of Hetshepet actually had a sister living in the Morantian quarter, and her name is wow, I am totally Matakare. Her name was Matakare. And you learn that Matakare was about her indentured servitude was about to be bought out by her sister. However, she needed permission from one of the local gang leaders, the man named Manu, in order to buy out her debt. So our heroes took it upon themselves to go and speak to this fine, upstanding citizen. Once they got to their location, they prepared themselves for, as you would say, some aggressive negotiations. However, once they entered into the building, they discovered that Manu and his gang were already dead in such a scene of violence that it kind of put them back just a bit. They told their guard companion of what they found, and he left to go make his report to his superiors. Now, our heroes decide to return back to the tavern. Upon getting close and looking through a wall, or not a wall, through a window, the scene within is one of volatile chaos. At one end of the room, with their backs to the Larissan shrine, is Hatshepet protecting the young Matakare. Surrounding them is an unruly mob, some shouting accusations, other with broken bottles held in the ready. The bartender lies in a heap on the floor between both groups, a large gash across his forehead and a veil of blood streaming down his face. This is what Adita, Nico, Ceres, and Theodora sees. However, inside the tavern is another individual. Fortuna, please describe your character.
Well, she is a little taller than average, somewhat fair-skinned, dark curly hair, usually tied up in a ponytail, lots of little bits of baubles, bangles, almost gaudy makeup, has a red overshirt, bodice, black pants, some nice over-the-top earrings. Almost just looks, for in a word, gaudy. But it kind of adds to that circus kind of look that she's got going. Lots of patterns that almost mismatch, and an air of confidence.
Okay. Damn it, Corey. In the tavern, Fortuna, you are sitting there. You do see what appears to be one gentleman who seems to be... he seems to be the one who is causing the ruckus. And you see the two sisters here and here. And the one you've been sent to investigate is Matakare. Heroes.
Who are those?
The Burnished Band. Having fun with that, Slavinus.
Immeasurably.
I'm trying to remember who Matakari was again. Is that
Mat-
the guy with the teardrop?
No, that was
No.
Setmet, who was one of the...
Setmet. That's what it was. Okay, Matakari's the sister.
Right, Setmet's the one you're
Okay.
trying to find to see about the murders in the warehouse and about some of the missing artifacts you were originally sent to find. You found 2 of them, but the urn is still missing.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so the Burnished Band, you are outside. Fortuna, you are inside. What would you all like to do?
Well, if I remember right from last week or last time, we were about to walk in and a bottle came flying out the window.
Yes.
That seems
Yeah.
about right.
That tracks.
I'll just kind of look to the others. And say, Sir, are we looking for a bar brawl or?
Yes.
Sh-
Ah! Ceres runs in.
I follow Ceres.
Damn it,
All
Darcy.
right.
At this point,
But,
Fortuna was going to try to say something to try to quell the situation,
Oh no.
and then a lizard runs in, and everything she thought of blanks.
So here's what happens. Just before the door slams open, what are you doing?
What are
Huh?
you doing, Slap?
I'm getting all my bad rolls out. Leave me alone.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, you got 2 ones.
Okay, Fortuna and now everyone else, since the door was thrown open, you hear, "She is to blame for the disappearances. She must answer for her crimes."
Oh God.
And you do see several people like turn as they hear a door slam open, and now standing before them is a lavender Ceresin.
Wait, oh, it's our lavender Ceres.
Yeah, it's our Slaversaurus.
It took me a moment. I had to verify with myself. Do I need a perception check to verify that this is our Ceresin?
Lars. Knowing you get a 1, you think we had another one
It
there.
would be my luck tonight.
All right, so now there's people paying attention
April.
to the people at the front door, and they're also paying attention to the rabble-razzler trying to rile everyone up. And there's heads going back and forth. So,
Which one's the rabble rouser? It's like who's the mouth?
all right, I will show you the mouth.
Color code.
The blue one up here.
Ah, got it.
Okay, now Fortuna, I believe you were about to attempt something.
I was actually going to attempt empathic bond. One of my
Okay,
cantrips.
please tell me what that does.
Choose a creature you can see within 30 feet that is not hostile towards you. You become aware of its general mood and emotional state. You gain advantage on charisma checks during the duration until the spell ends, which is, for me, 1 minute.
Okay.
When the spell ends, the creature does know you did something to its mind and can possibly become hostile, possibly attacking you. Which I can deal with that at a later time. Don't want an entire bar brawl here, though.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Maybe too late
no.
for that.
Okay.
That was what I was going to attempt, and then purple lizard.
Yes, a purple lizard.
And there is no saving throw for this, I believe, correct?
No.
Okay. After he utters that phrase, "She is to blame for her disappearances. She must answer for her crimes." And he's kind of blinks and he looks at Fortuna and goes, "You believe me, right? I mean, after all the ones who have been found dead and all the ones who have gone missing, was with her. So clearly, she's the person who's causing all this."
Oh, I believe that you're hurt, just like everybody else, and you have so much on your chest right now. I believe that everything is just weighing on you, And right now, we just all need to take a moment to breathe. We're not thinking with our heads right now, at least. It's just a mess. Just take a moment to sit. Ale will make everything better.
Okay. You know what, Fortuna? Give me a persuasion check, and I'll give you advantage.
Let me get to my persuasion. $22.
Okay. For the time being, a lot of people are like,
emotional damage.
so I'm probably gonna have to.
Goodness.
I'm gonna have to shut those off for the next adventure, probably, just to stop Slavinus. Okay. So you do see a couple of people are now seem to be, they were like, "Arr, arr, arr," and now they seem to be calming down. She's right, maybe it was just a coincidence. Yeah, just a coincidence. There's no hard evidence. Yes, there is no facts to prove that what our friend here was saying is truth. So, oh man, we just knocked out the bartender. How are we gonna get the drinks?
Theodora's gonna go over
During
to the
this
bartender.
minute, because
Wait.
I know I only have a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't worry, boys. Here, I'm sure he'll be fine in a few. And she's going to act like she's just gonna pay. Go ahead and take the girl's hand up. Look, I'll go get her somewhere safe. I'm gonna go see if I can catch a doctor to come take a look at the tender. For now, here's a little extra gold so that when he is up, you can get some more drinks on me.
So, okay.
I'm trying to leave before the minute is up.
So, what is Nico,
fair.
Adita, Theodora, and Ceres doing?
Theodora was gonna go fix up the bartender because he's bleeding.
I'm
All
making
right.
sure Ceres doesn't eat the first person that's in front of him. Seeing things are calming down, it's like, no, Ceres, hang on, wait. There's not a fight.
That's very important.
I'll wait until Adita says what she's gonna do.
Look, there's a lot of people in here. Some of you were bleeding. I guess I guess I can patch a couple of you up. You know what sounds even better, though, honestly? Serving these drinks to me. Adita walks over to the tap at the back of the bar, pours herself a mug, glances back over her shoulder, and counts folks in the room. About how many people are in the room?
Let's see. Including you guys, or just 2, 4? Oh god. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. About 24.
24. Cool. Can't count that high, I'm sure. There's like 24 of you, and that's more than I'm willing to count. So we're gonna see how many glasses I find in the back of the bar here. I just start pulling drinks and sliding them down the bar.
Okay. Now, Fortuna, as you're taking Matakara by the hand and trying to lead her out, Hatshepet, her sister goes, wait, hold on. Excuse you, where are you taking my sister?
To get help, you can come with me if you like before any of this gets out of hand again.
Theodora's gonna step up to try and neutralize any kind of tension here.
Wait a second.
I grab the guy in front of me and throw him.
Yeah, Dave, could I have moved up at this point?
Yes. Go ahead, take a second.
What?
Move your characters into the positions you want to be
Okay.
in.
Okay, how far could I have gotten in that moment? Could I have just gotten my 30 feet?
Yes, absolutely.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Uh,
5, 6, yeah. There we go.
Okay. Adita, Okay.
Yes.
Now,
I need to get to the bartender.
Oh, I need to be like over here behind the bar pulling my drinks.
so Adita kind of just briskly got over there, jumped on over.
There.
There's an unconscious. Actually, the bartender is going to be right
Absolutely.
here.
Oh,
There we
thank
go.
you. It was
You're welcome.
between me and things I was pouring. I absolutely vaulted over the bar and started pouring drinks for myself. And however many of my friends I pour drinks for before I lose interest.
Okay.
And now would have
So-
been moving up to kind of get closer to Hatshepsut since we know her, just kind of look at her and just,
Oh wait, I grabbed my. There we go.
Soresta's confused and waiting for an excuse to throw the man in front of him.
All
Oh,
right.
so you just picked him up. You
Star
haven't
glass.
thrown him yet?
So this gentleman right here, he seems to like turn to Fortuna right next to her, and he seems to like be getting very aggressive. You did something. We were all ready for a fight. We're ready to dispense justice, and now you are just gonna walk out of here. You did something to us, and now
throw
everyone
him.
can I interrupt him?
stop. So, the guy in front of you, this guy, you're going to attempt to try to hit this guy over here? Correct,
You're
Ceres?
gonna throw him?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh,
You're
you didn't direct it at anyone. No, I'm grabbing the person in front of me, and I'm using him to throw at the person next to him. Just lift
Okay.
him bodily and yeet him at the other
So
person.
him?
Okay.
It's legit.
Well,
But I'm very confused at first because now he's yelling. We came in. That was originally my plan, and then everyone started walking around, and then people started talking, and now Adita's pulling drinks at the bar, and now everyone's left, and I'm very upset about this. The first person to make a bad move that I consider aggressive, I'm gonna take this person and throw him at the other person.
That's this person right here, blue guy.
He's making an aggressive move.
He is being very aggressive to this lady right here.
Oh well, he hasn't thrown a punch or anything yet. Once someone makes an aggressive move, or like tries to make an attack, I grab the person in front of me and throw him into the next person.
Well, he seems to be getting aggressive. It looks like he's about to commit an act of violence to this woman right
want,
here.
I want to interrupt him first.
Okay, we got two interrupts going on.
Okay.
I'm gonna let Ceres go first, and then you're gonna go Nico.
I'm gonna look at Nico and I'm gonna hold my action still.
Okay, Nico, go.
I'm gonna pull my gun and stick it in this guy's mouth and tell him, stop talking.
Okay, give me an intimidate check with advantage, because when someone puts their gun in my mouth, yeah, that's gonna probably scare me.
Yeah.
23.
23. He just stops. The entire bar stops. It gets so quiet here. Adita, while you're pouring the taps, all of a sudden the place goes dead, and you can hear nothing but the ale pouring into the mug.
Nice.
Right. In that case, I'll turn around, glance at the now silent room, my mug in hand. What do I see when I turn around to this silent scenario? Paint me an accidental Renaissance portrait.
You see all people in all direction looking towards Nico with his hand extended, with his arm extended, gun in his hand, pressed into the guy's mouth. The guy who seemed to be getting very riled up and was going to do imminent violence to the new lady in front of him, fist raised,
Yep.
all of a sudden stops, looks in horror as this man, this mercenary, is going to probably take his life if he does anything else. And everyone is just looking shocked and too scared to move.
So I'm here standing looking at this scene, my glass nearly raised to my lips. And you know what? Hey, you. Now wouldn't a nice glass of mug of ale taste a whole lot better than the muzzle of a gun? You can nod.
Oh, He nods. He is still very much
Yeah.
intimidated.
Good. So you know what we're all gonna do right now is we're all gonna sit down, nice and civil like, and I'm going to hand this man a mug of beer that he's going to drink nice and quiet. He's gonna take his hands off the lady and he's gonna sit himself down in the corner like a civilized human being. Because the one thing I don't feel like doing today, and I pop my claws, is having to get into a bit of a scuffle. So, are we gonna sit down quietly and drink our ale like nice, happy people in the bar while my friend stitches up the bartender?
Okay. Give me I'm trying to decide if should it be persuasion or intimidation.
Roll both. Take the best.
It doesn't matter, they're the same thing. It's
Yeah,
half the
no,
time.
roll both. Take the best.
You know what?
But you know what? Starglass bought me some inspiration.
Oh, don't worry about it. You're rolling with advantage. I just had to decide which.
Yeah.
Give me intimidation. Because you're being scary.
Okay.
Intimidation with advantage.
Well, there's a 0 bonus on this, so let's go, boys.
Technically, you. Okay.
What the pork?
The inspiration.
No. Well,
Inspiration.
do you want to roll one more time? Do you want to use your inspiration?
I do. That was great.
All right. Roll one more. So
That's
that's
the 11.
it would be
Hey,
the
it's better
11.
than a 6.
Okay?
Technically, it's a 12 because you're a Val. You get a +1 when dealing with humans. So, with a 12, and with a 12, you do see some of the people. They don't seem to be as yeah, they don't want to be part of any of this. They just want to kind of go back to doing their thing. You know, Greg over here is starting some trouble. These guys are just, you know what? They're going to go to the back. They're just going to have a good old time. Sit down. They're going to mind their own business. No one wants any trouble anymore. And this guy, he's just going to slowly step away.
Before he moves away, I'm gonna grab him, get him by the shirt, and as I'm staring him in the eye, I'm going to clean his spit off my gun.
He looks at you. He is not blinking. He figures if he blinks, that will be the last thing he ever does.
Go have a seat.
And he goes and he has a seat. So, people are now just all kind of minding their own business.
All right. Healing word to the bartender.
Okay, healing word to the bartender. You mend his wound, and he regains consciousness.
Hey, 5 points of healing. Nice. I think
Awesome.
that's great for someone who's not in a class.
Absolutely. This bartender kind of starts getting back up, shakes his head, looking at the scene. He looks at Adita. He's like, "Can you please not be behind my bar?"
Well, are you about ready to get up? I mean, we've been waiting a minute.
He gets up. Matakare and Hetshepet are kind of like awestruck as to what they just witnessed.
What? Ever seen a Koryani soldier in action? I
Yep.
promise you, I'm way more impressive in person.
Theodora is just gonna give a kind smile to the nice stranger who helped her sister and says, "Thank you very much for assisting them."
Ceres
You know
is
what?
going to huff his way over to where everyone else is. being very upset, throwing like really pushing chairs back and just stomping his way over to everyone else. We come in here. There's already fight started. Everyone has to start talking. I can't even throw nobody. This is stupid. I haven't even gotten the sandwich. We're all walking around talking.
Theodore's
I'm
gonna
gonna
shove
get some food for Ceres.
Theodore's
Like
gonna
a double
shove some
portion.
jerky. Theodore's just gonna shove some jerky in Ceres's mouth.
Ah!
All right. Suffice to say, Hatshepet and Matakari are just kind of baffled, awestruck. They are going through the wide variety and plethora of emotion right now.
That's okay. Fortuna's on that boat too.
Yep. Theodore is holding Fortuna's gaze with a kind smile.
And I thought I worked with a colorful bunch.
Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. Can I buy you a drink?
I've got a bunch of them over here.
That sounds fantastic.
What
Yeah,
just
Are
happened?
there any drinks left on my bar?
Sure, there are plenty of drinks, but the bartender's like, all right, well, I got knocked the hell out. What happened?
We bought drinks for everyone.
Where's the gold? Oh, where's the silver?
It's on the table.
Oh, thank you. All right.
This was very just easy way to smooth him over.
All right, so...
I have a feeling Fortuna left the money on the table, right?
I did. I left
Okay.
I left a couple gold on the table at first. To try to smooth things over. I would like DM to let me know how much it would have been.
You know what? Because beer, ale in this place is about like 2 coppers a piece. You know what? Honestly, 1 gold piece will probably more than suffice.
I'd put down 2 for the trouble.
Okay. 2 gold pieces has been put down. The money will be collected by the bartender. He'll head back behind his bar and then kick Adita away from it.
If he comes back around, I'll leap back over the bar and get back to not dealing with the rest of you. Where's my lizard?
The lizard's still in the back, but I thought he stomped forward.
He did stomp forward. Move your character.
Where did you stomp, Ceres?
I'm trying to decide that.
You
There we
decide
go.
on a tantrum hole. All right.
There,
Okay.
he picked his tantrum spot.
Look at the two across the
They
table.
come-
Go away!
The girls kind of go, eep! And they move away. They were just some Laristan priestesses.
Oh, jeez.
I'd take a seat next to the lizard. Is that jerky?
Yeah,
All right,
I have some.
yeah.
Matakare and Hetchepet will have a seat over here.
Oh god, this is awful. What is
Here-
this?
I don't know.
Theodore is gonna sit across from them because she's gotta talk to them about certain things that happened last time.
I'm gonna go back up to the bartender so I put another gold on the table. Can we get some food for everybody at those tables?
Yes,
Preferably.
sure. And he goes back here, and he's gonna talk to this guy here. All right. It's kind of like a little bit twilight out right now. It's not nighttime. It's it's that nice hour. And Fortuna, what do you wish to do?
Let's see. I'm gonna, I suppose, sit at the bar as well and try to just watch Matakari just kind of gather some information. Definitely drink because, good God, it has been a day.
All right.
Yeah,
So-
you and me both, Sparkles.
So, the 2 girls are there, and then Matakari goes, what happened over at Menus? And wait, no, thank you. all of you, and you over there as well. I think you stopped something from happening.
That was the hope.
But what happened with Menu?
So, Manu she's gonna be very quiet. She's gonna be very like she doesn't want to start shit, and people are like quieter now. She's gonna be like, you may want to take your sister and go to the temple. Manu won't be a problem.
He's run into some personal difficulties.
We didn't
of a
do
metabolic
anything.
nature.
I'll preface this. We did nothing. We just found him,
Yeah, found him
or what was left of him.
Yeah, pieces everywhere. It was very upsetting.
What?
Put it in there. Then we came here, and everyone wanted to have a bar fight. And then crazy lady over there looks at him and is like, "Oh no, we shouldn't fight. We should just have fun and eat."
Therese,
And
do you
now-
want to have a bar fight?
Yes.
I reach over and slap him across the nose.
Ah!
Kind of half-hearted.
That's better. I'm happier.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So, Hatshepet, Matakari's sister, just goes, "Did you say Menu is dead?"
Oh, we assume so. We can't confirm it.
It's very difficult to tell. There were a lot of pieces of many people.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell what was cow and what was pig when it's all ground meat.
What's the
What
rest?
he means to say is that.
I mean, that's pretty
it's a
apt.
mess
Yeah,
scenario.
that was pretty accurate.
Oh. And wow. So Menu is gone. And now I have these accusations against me.
What happened there, by the way?
The man over there who was kind of leading almost this little bar riot. He pointed out that all the people who have gone missing were all people that who have met with me. So they started accusing me of killing people and then disposing of the bodies with my roommate. But Kephis is a good man. He would he wouldn't do anything like that. I mean, he's not here tonight because I think he was just gonna go and be with friends tonight, but you do see that, yeah, she seems a little stressed out by this.
Can I, while watching her talk, do an expression?
What do you mean?
Cast a spell, so to speak, is called expression.
Oh, detect thoughts.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to see if
s-
she's telling the truth.
Fair enough. It's gonna be a will save. That's a wisdom save, correct?
I am double checking, but I believe it's either wisdom or charisma.
It's wisdom.
Wisdom, okay. Because I know everything I've got is either wisdom or charisma.
Wisma.
As you reach into her mind, her thoughts are kind of a jumble, and you can't really detect or pinpoint a singular thought to start reading the surface. She's just so messed up right now.
But overall, based on that messed upness, I think Fortuna's going to come to the conclusion that at least from the letter she had gotten earlier, this girl's probably not involved. Unless she's like the scape.
Well, from all you can tell is all the people who have gone missing had something to do with her, though. All men, according to the back and forth, all men met with her, and not too much longer, they're not around anymore.
And now I'm hearing this about menu and ground beef and pork.
And yes, ground beef and
Sounds
pork.
legit.
What was the guy's name that she mentioned? Kefes? Harface?
Kefis, her
Kefis.
roommate.
This is a dude?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Kefis is my roommate. Some of us, we can't afford to have, a place to ourselves, so some of us just tend to sleep in the same apartments together.
Oh, y'all live
that
in
makes
Miami.
sense. My bad. Well, that makes sense. We're just a little leery of this entire ordeal. It is a coincidence, but it could also be a little bit of a organized coincidence, if you know what I mean.
What should we do?
You should probably go to the temple. Which kind of looks to Hashipet. And we can probably make sure nothing happens while you are no longer here.
I would feel safer if we're gonna go to the temple. Can you escort us?
No, of course.
Thank you. I'll go get my things.
She'll nod.
All right, Matakari goes to get her things, and Hatchback kind of stays behind and goes, thank you, sister. I would have known what to do. It was almost so bad in here, and I'm not strong enough in my faith to have done much of anything.
You would take Hashipet's hand and just kind of pat it. It says, well, by one grace or another, the worst was avoided.
I mean,
I'm sure you would have been capable enough. She's gonna give like a reassuring smile.
you Coriani are nothing like the Coriani I've met. It's...
Wow.
You almost seem like... Well, maybe it's your time in the Legion, right?
Well, it does change a few people, and it does you do have a lot of experiences in Legion.
Emotional damage.
I mean,
Yep.
we do have that. Seems legit.
And
Dave, hearing about the Legion, would I be more open to talk to them about what is going on with me, knowing that they're a part of a Legion?
well, you have the right to make the call. The one thing that is definitely true, picture the Legions as different. Even though they're the Legion, some of them are kind of take after the different branches in the military. There's kind of that friendly rivalry, but they are ex-legionnaires from what you can tell. They are no longer active. So maybe you feel like they are trustworthy.
Okay.
It depends
to
now
know.
on you and what you would like to do.
Well, they did help me diffuse a potentially very bad situation.
Yes, they did.
And they seem to know a whole lot more about what is supposed to be my last case than I do. Including, ground meat bits.
Yeah, always the ground meat.
You?
Ground meat bits. And, definitely I'd like to wrap this up. So, whichever one of them is free, probably Nico.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm literally just leaning against the bar, just watching everybody, see if anyone's going to do anything stupid again.
Hey, have you met my lizard?
Well, that's why I bought food, specifically meat, to put in front of him, so it should keep him busy for about 5, maybe 3 minutes.
He's got
Hey.
into a bar fight. He, we're fine.
And after a while, food is brought out. All right. It's all up to you
So-
now, Fortuna, about what you want to do next.
She's gonna pull her tarot cards and just kind of shuffle them a second and look to Nico. Fancy your fortune being told.
How accurate is that?
She's going to flash one of the cards, and it's going to be the symbol of her legion, which is Lex. I'm trying to remember the name right now.
Lex.
Talius.
Lex Talius.
Yeah. Nico, you recognize the symbol. You know, most legionnaires, a legion is a legion. Everyone has kind of their own insignia. But Lex Talius, you would know because one, your background, well, mainly more than anything, your background as also an initiate of the church. Because the Legion Lex Talius is the Legion of the Inquisition.
Ooh.
I'll just kind of stop
How
mid-sip.
dramatic.
Just. You know what? Sure. Let's have a seat. Now I'm interested.
She nods and sits across from him. She goes and starts pulling the cards and starts placing them. Ah, I see there was a young lady that you were potentially looking for. Seems bound in chains, perhaps? And, seems like everything around her has just been lost. And she's just drawing cards, but of course the cards are kind of being almost illusioned to look like certain things, almost like she's thieves canting him exactly what's going on.
Okay. Nico, give me an intelligence check. You pick up on it, no problem.
Yeah, just looking at the cards. Oh, that's pretty astute of you. Well, maybe we should have a chat with my traveling companions here, because I'm sure they would love to hear this story as well. Maybe having some of their fortunes read. Probably not Ceres. That might end badly.
He's quite colorful.
Yeah, let's go with that.
All
So
right.
I'll kind of motion to Adita. And is the card with the Lex Talius symbol still there?
It's one that she actually, because she can cantrip, prestidigitation, to get that symbol there.
All right, so I'll motion to Adita, just kind of nod to Fortuna to the cards to kind of show the symbol.
And she kind of does.
Adita
Damn it, Corey.
notices it. Kind of inclines her head. Interesting. And what brings someone as characteristically attention drawing as yourself to a place like this, Sparkles?
The circus. What else?
The circus. I wasn't aware there was a circus in town.
Oh, I generally am the whole circus when you look at it like that.
I mean, how's that going? You don't
So-
exactly seem like the bearded lady, the dancing bear, and the sideshow all at once.
Nope, and I'm a few rings short of all three. But pretty good at telling a fortune. And that keeps gold in the pouch.
Whatever feeds you, pretty lady.
But your traveling companion here said that you'd perhaps like your fortune read.
Who, me? Nah, he must be sore mistaken. I don't truck with fortunes. And Fortune, she doesn't truck with me much either.
I'll kind of glance over to Theodora.
Yep. Sorry, my thing was being weird. Yes? She's gonna catch your eye. Are you kind of like motioning for her to come over?
Yeah.
Alright. She would reassure Hashipet that she will help them back to the temple with no problem. Just to give her a few minutes just for things to calm down, things to settle a little bit before making her way over to her group.
Yeah, just kind of do the same thing. Just motion to the card that has the Legion symbol on it.
My, aren't you interesting company? I must thank you again for assisting us.
Well, the last thing I want is 2 innocent young women to get hurt.
Oh, very true.
But she is going to kind of repeat what she did for Nico with the fortune. That same idea of telling what she knows in the guise of telling a fortune.
That's an interesting fortune indeed.
And you also, with your background in religion and the Legion,
Right.
yeah, you know exactly what Legion she's part of.
Right. What is our, like, I know there's that friendly rivalry, but like some Legion, I'm good, like is there any kind of tension or any kind of connection or any kind of background between our Legion and their Legion and her Legion?
Lex Talus is the Legion that everyone knows because they're the Legion of the Inquisition. Their job, more than anything, is to find heretical artifacts or heretical cults and take care of them. They are a very powerful and influential Legion because they are basically the arm of the Inquisition.
Got it. So this is very interesting to her, to Theodora. She's gonna look to Nikos. Is just like, do you think we should bring her in, like, kind of like the eye contact of?
I get what Theodora's hinting at.
With, like, the book.
You know, this might not be the best of places to
Oh no, of course.
talk. Maybe we could find somewhere a little quieter.
Well, we do have to escort the 2 young ladies to a temple, don't we?
No quieter place in there, depending on what room you go to.
I've been to your temples, Theodora. I've never found them particularly quiet or peaceful.
Depending on room,
It gets loud at night.
very.
And during the day, and halfway through lunch. Except for that one time when they brought out the little orange balls. That was really quiet. I have no idea what they were doing, and I don't want to, but I was pretty blessed by the silence.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I don't know why you play Pinnacle so loud. You get really into it.
It's an enjoyable
do I know
game.
Do I know who her goddess is?
Yes, it's very obvious. Larissa.
Yes.
Ah, yes. Your goddess fucks.
Yeah. Like
What?
with the best of them.
No, Pinnacle.
Yeah, we call it pinochle around the Soresan. He's going through puberty right now. There's a few things we have to ease him into.
What?
Good to know.
Yeah.
And also, there's the F-bomb. Well placed.
Elegant.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'd take it kindly if you wouldn't speak roughly to my lizard. He's a tender young thing, and, well, we'll tell him when he's older.
Ah, noted. Then begs the question, how do you get him in and around that temple without him knowing? That's
Knowing
almost
what?
impressive.
What?
Pinochle.
Pinochle, okay.
Pinochle. And lots of jerky.
Lots of okay. Turkey and pinochle.
All right. Matakari then comes back downstairs with a sizable backpack now and says, I'm ready to go.
All right. Then she looks to the
That was a
group.
sizable backpack.
Are we taking our food to go, or did we eat? Like that's a question.
I assume you guys were
That
eating.
was the rest question.
So Ceres, you see, has eaten a couple of bowls of several day old stew.
Very good. It's impressively bad.
It's very good, but impressively bad. I love it.
Yes.
So, you guys then step out into the night and start traveling down, and you're taking them both to the Temple of Larissa. Everybody, give me a perception check, please.
Yeah.
I have to go handle the thing still.
Wow, that's good job. Nikos is on point.
At least.
Yeah, for once with perception.
With his -1.
Sorry, I forgot to turn off advantage.
That's fine.
Go ahead, roll that again.
I love that that Shura's over here. Oh, sorry. Clicked the wrong thing. There we go. I'm gonna click random things tonight because that's how Roll20 gonna do me.
Okay, let's see. As you guys are walking in this group in the Morantian Quarter, after a while, you see the next district not too far away. Nico, you're used to the shadows moving. You look up, and from a building, you could have sworn you may have saw like maybe a gargoyle or something like that, but then you saw it as you guys were moving. It was moving. And you see it has kind of this lumbering emotion to it.
I'm gonna kind of move next to Adita, just kind of nudge her shoulder and just motion up towards that shadow and kind of do the same to Theodora.
Yep.
All right.
Already has her gun very subtly drawn.
It is quite a ways away. Now let's do this.
I'm going to check my pistol here. Sorry, my flintlock to be specific.
I'm just gonna make sure both of mine are not locked in the holster. Just pop that little button. Yep.
Draw. That's kind of what we're all ready for. We're all just kind of preparing just in case.
Following what Nico pointed out, am I able to see that sign of movement or whatever lumbering thing it is now that he's pointed it out?
Since he did point it out, we're just going to go ahead and say, yes, you can see it now. You see it. It's almost... It has this weird lumbering motion, like the body looks like it's moving as if it was uneven. And it is, even though it's pretty far away, it's got this hulking massive form to it, but it is crouched down really low.
Does anything about its shape or its movement seem familiar or recognizable as anything I might have seen before?
Give me a knowledge nature, please.
Sure.
And while she's doing that, I'll...
And pray that Saint Armor Guy protect me from Roll20.
So, there is no natural creature that you have ever heard of doing this.
Okay, that's fair. Nothing natural. But you didn't mention unnatural things I may have heard of or experienced.
I'm also gonna kind of glance back to Fortuna and just same thing, just quickly just motion up.
And you two will be able to see the lumbering figure.
She's going to place her hands on like her card box and just pop the holder on the card box.
Ooh.
Okay. You do see that Hatshepet kind of looks at all of you and has this look of what is going on.
I'm just gonna rub my stubble and then just.
Yeah.
You know, one day you're either gonna let that in or out. Nico.
I'll pass.
Leader is just gonna put an arm around Hachipet and says, "Oh, it's just a nice night." Very kind of like that whole reassuring of "Don't worry, we got you," kind of vibe.
You see those who were keeping an eye on the thing, it starts slowing down and it seems like it's pulling away.
I'm gonna take a look around us, see if anything else has been following us on the street.
Give me a perception check.
Was
Nope.
gonna try and take a look as well.
Go ahead.
Let's see if that's worth it.
Hey, that's better than my first roll.
Saint Armor guy protect me. Again, better than my first roll.
Okay. There is no one else currently really in the streets other than, someone sleeping in the gutter over here or in a crate. There are people about, but no one seems to be paying you any mind except whatever that is up there, and it's slowly backing away.
Okay, the thing is backing away.
Yup.
How close are we to the temple now?
It'll probably be just a little bit longer, but maybe not too much longer. Probably about a half an hour from walking.
Okay. Okay. As we're kind of heading that way and the thing seems to be lumbering off in another direction, I actually want to slide into the shadows down the alley a bit and see if I can't identify its track.
Roll me a stealth check, please.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Very
we're going after
nice.
it.
Guy.
We're going after it. I'm going with Adita.
Come on, lizard.
It sees you. As you're keeping an eye on it and moving into the shadows, you stop because it freezes. It now turns and it leaps to the next building.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Woo!
All right, Adita, what would you like to do?
All right. So it leaps onto the next building. I'm actually going to turn back surreptitiously and head back the way that we came. All the while glancing back over my shoulder to keep an eye on what direction it's going.
Okay. So you're attempting to track it, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to attempt to eyeball its direction with the intention of tracking it later.
All right. So here is what's going to happen. We are now in a chase.
Ooh, okay. Come on, lizard.
Adita, give me a survival check.
Okay. Whew.
Since I'm following along with Adita, do you want one from me as well, or?
You each get to use a separate skill. However, if you use the same skill, the DC is going to be higher.
I'll use athletics. Since it's already seen me, I might as well try and keep up with it.
That was a natural one. Oof. That counts as 2 failures.
Shit.
All right. Ceres, give me an athletics check, please.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Roll 20. May you come down upon us.
20? Oh, hasn't it already?
Remember,
The world.
if you have channel points, If you have channel points,
Anybody
you
out
can.
there with 800 channel points want to buy us some inspiration?
That's not us, because we can't do it to ourselves.
We can't do it to ourselves, Dave.
You can't do it for yourself, but you can do it for one of your
Oh.
friends.
Nah,
Okay.
I'm keeping all mine for
Hey, Venus.
trombones.
Oh my god, okay.
There we go. I mean, I was mid-click.
All right, granted inspiration. So, first things first. Who gets what inspiration? Senora Medusa, who do you give your inspiration to?
Ceres.
All right, Ceres. Nico, who do you give that inspiration to?
Adita.
Adita. Fortuna, who do you give a redemption to?
I'm gonna actually give it to Theodora because if this all goes downhill, we need somebody to keep us alive.
That's not a bad idea.
All right. Now, Adita, would you like to re-roll?
Question. To question.
Would you like to roll another one?
Wait, did you roll? Okay.
14. Okay.
At least it's not 2 failures.
Ceres, did
Right.
you get a free redemption roll?
Yes.
Would you like to re-roll?
Sure.
Hey!
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
Trips for a second. Goes. Wait.
As Adita, you go into the shadows to try to keep an eye on the creature to see where it's going to jump to next. You see Ceres starts climbing a building to try to get up higher to see if he can keep an eye on the thing. Nico, what would you like to do?
Oh boy. I wasn't thinking that far ahead. All right, so Adita and Ceres went down the alley. We saw this thing move, yeah? Like, we saw it booking it.
Yeah.
Gun out, and I'm just trying to spot where it's going. So, perception for me.
Roll a perception check, please.
Even though it's a -1.
All right. Next, give me Fortuna. What would you like to do?
I was trying to check halt because I want to see how close this thing is.
Let me see.
If it's not, I got something else, but I just want to figure out first how close it is.
It is not within 60 feet.
Still longer than 60 feet. Okay. How many feet is it within?
It is going to probably be about 100 feet.
Shoot. Okay. So we are not within the kind of feetage that I would need for that. Okay. So I'm going to do something interesting.
Okay.
I'm going to use Missive.
All right.
And that's going to give us basically a cell phone link between myself. I'm going to grab Nico and Adita so that we can actually communicate with each other where this thing is and where it's going.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what? Give me an insight check, please.
Okay?
All right. You are able to communicate things effectively during this tense situation. All right. Theodora, what would you like to do?
Is it running away or is it running towards us?
It is running or leaping away from you.
And how far is it?
It's about 100 feet.
Nope, wrong one. Hold on. Guiding bolt. I'm gonna make that thing sparkle.
All right. Roll the hit. Let me see. 17. Gotta now check here.
I'm gonna make that thing a beacon in the night.
Okay.
Here we go. All right, you will hit. How much damage do you do?
16.
All right.
And it is now sparkling red.
You see that this bolt of light goes hurling through the sky and slams into this creature. The bolt is now glowing bright red, and you hear this weird kind of cry.
That's the sound your mother made a week ago.
Selena's Oh, never mind. I know. who
Thank you,
taught to
Nico.
say that.
All right.
Now, okay, it should at least be easier to follow at the very least. That was the whole point.
Adita, you're up.
With the illumination that Theodora just hit it with, what do I see?
You see kind of...
Emotional damage.
You see
I
this...
definitely see that, Ravs.
It is still pretty far away. You do see light, and you do see like one kind of overgrown arm that does not look human.
Yeah, I get that.
We're
Sometimes.
talking
That's why I
like
switch hands.
Hellboy with like, the demon arm.
From your distance, yes.
Love you.
So,
Okay.
what would you like to do this round of the chase?
Okay. La 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 la. You know what?
Rangers actually get advantage.
I'm going to. I've already used my survival skills. I'm actually going to use my. I'm going to use my stealth while it's distracted and has its attention. Hopefully, focus on the priestess that just hit it with some sort of spell to try to gain some ground on the thing while its attention is elsewhere.
Okay. Give me a stealth check, please.
You got it. Please, armor guy, protect me.
Okay.
Can't freaking break a 15.
Whatever
Okay,
it is.
done.
Let me see. I'm looking for one thing really quick. Hold on. Where are you? All right. That's what I'm looking for. Adita, as you're starting now to kind of keep an eye on it and try to make sure that it doesn't see you, with a combination of you keeping an eye on it last turn and tracking it, and with the bolt of energy pulsating from its body, you see that it kind of shimmers and then it gets faster.
Okay.
You see now it starts moving really fast. Nico, what would you like to do next?
So how far is it from me right now?
Let's see. Let me double check one thing. Since you really didn't move last turn, it's about 220 feet away from you.
Ugh. So everyone else except for me and Hatshepsut have moved.
Correct. Hatshepsut looks at you and says, I'll get her out of here.
All right, I'm just gonna start booking it then.
All right. Any skill you would like to use?
I doubt I can get within 90 feet of it, can I?
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, only other thing I could really do, just try to get closer as I'm just kind of booking it down the alley. How tall are the buildings?
They vary in heights. Are you trying to climb up one?
I'm gonna shadow step up to the roof and keep chasing.
Okay. Do me a favor. Give me a stealth check with advantage. No problem.
Yes, I'm gonna shadow step. So I'm gonna go ahead and step real quick into the ethereal plane and see a whole entire
Yes,
army of these things,
seriously, nice.
and then take a quick step out.
All right, Fortuna, what would you like to do?
Oh, and just for movement's sake, Dave, it'd be like 30 feet up towards the buildings, and then, or however far else I can get, plus the action to dash and move to just haul ass.
No problem. Fortuna.
Okay, so things are definitely getting tense. Definitely gonna communicate over the mind link to let both Adita and Nico know they're all connected. They can actually speak to each other and myself.
Anita, Nico, do you copy?
Why is everybody in here? Everybody get out private spot.
I have a feeling this is gonna be abused.
Oh,
Right, Starglass?
Oh, you know it is.
Oh,
know
but
what any of you were talking about.
So, Fortuna, what are you doing this scene?
gonna try to.
Oh, I mean,
Obviously, you know, Madakari and Hashep are running towards the temple. There really is no way to stay with them. We gotta go after whatever this thing is. So I'm going to do emotional damage.
All
Is
right.
it within 120 feet?
No,
Okay, well, I'm gonna try to get to within 120 feet if I possibly can.
it is 220 feet.
Okay, so I'm gonna do some running before I can do the emotional damage.
Okay. So you're just trying to close the gap?
I'm trying to close the gap at this point.
Give me an athletics check, please.
But do I have to?
Yes. Running is just not your forte.
That is precisely why I said, but do I have to?
oh my god, that's amazing.
We're not the most athletic team, even though we're legionnaires.
I
Ceres.
just want to point out how much I love our viewers because Starglass, between you and Ravs, the sound effects impact has been amazing.
Agreed.
I love it.
Ceres, what would you like to do?
I'm running after it. We're running after it. Running after it. No one's
All
told me to
right.
stop. I'm running after it.
Let's see. Would you like to use athletics at a higher DC or... Oh wait, acrobatics is athletics in this edition, isn't it?
Yeah. If you want, I will use athletics, but as acrobatics at the same DC.
They are two different skills.
Yeah.
Shush.
Yeah, they're two
Stop.
different skills.
Talking. Almost had him. He was thinking about it.
Give me an acrobatics check.
I'll cry about it.
Don't
I'll
cry for me,
cry about it.
Argentina. What the? Why didn't it do anything? There it is.
Hey! That was a number that was higher than 10!
All right.
Whee!
Theodora. Wait, what was that, Nico?
No, I was gonna just make a dumb comment. Maybe we should have a cry some more button now.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Oh God! All right, I'll look into it.
Right, what's happening?
Theodora, you're up next. What would you like to do?
Everyone's running. I'm gonna go running. I don't have anything, and the only positive I have in any physical skill is acrobatics.
You know what? Give me an acrobatics to try to climb and parkour your way up.
Oh. It's gonna be great.
I mean, it's really a lot more about
Hey,
dancing.
it's
and-
great!
Hey!
So this Larissan cleric, wow, you climb up, you find like an emergency escape, and you traverse it no problem, and you got with your success. That's another success for the round. Okay, the creature is still relatively far away. It's moving as fast as it possibly can.
It's still glowing.
So, Adita, what would you like to do this turn to
You know
continue
what's
to chase? What is great?
What's really great is that even in the darkest depths of night, the eyes of our mother are always watching. GM Dave,
Yes.
I am going to use nature's voice to call out to the owls and bats that might be around this city.
Gotcha. You know
And
what?
I'm going to ask them to follow it.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. Let's see if I can avoid porking this up.
By the way, the red bolt that was in it is now gone.
Okay. Adita probably needs some charisma.
Is it just out of range?
No, it only lasts for a round.
I thought until it got hit.
Nope,
Or
it
maybe
lasts
last round. All right.
1 round.
All right.
All right. You hear a pigeon go, "What? What? What?"
Still tell the pigeon what it needs to do.
The pigeon looks at you. Nico, what would you like to do? As a pigeon is staring at Adita very confused.
Is this thing still like 200 something feet away?
Yup. He's hauling ass.
Is there any way I can try to get within like 90 feet of him?
Let's see. What's your maximum movement?
30.
You can keep an eye. You can just try to keep an eye on him.
You know what? Sure. Let's do that. So, yeah, action, move, hauling ass again, and, you know, just for good measure, popping another shadow step.
All right, and roll a percentile, please.
Are we going by the original version of the spell or what's in the new file you sent?
Let me take a look at the book. Give me a second.
It's still, I know what you're getting at. The difference is instead of the percentile, it's a d20, and on a 1, it starts happening.
Oh, really? Okay.
Whichever you want.
You know what? Roll a d20. Still a 5% chance. Okay. But you do realize the more you keep on using Shadow Step, the more it increases the percentage. Okay. All right. You move.
Yeah, just 90 feet, just hauling complete after him.
All right. I'll give that to you. Boom. All right. Fortuna, you're...
These heels were not meant for running. Miércoles. Ugh. And she's looking and she's realizing she's really not going to catch up to this thing. So instead of letting too many of us get too far away from the sisters, she's going to glance back to make sure the sisters are at least getting towards the temple.
They are, yep, they are running in that direction away. It's like the creature's going in the opposite way.
She's going to glance up and make sure that nothing is running towards the sisters or potentially going to cause them harm.
Okay, give me a perception check. All right. Ceres, what would you like to do?
How close am I?
You're still a ways away from it because this creature had a heck of a lead, and then all of a sudden, it got really fast.
What? Get back here! Stop running!
What skill would you like to do?
Crying. Oh, wait, that's me.
Da-dun, da-dun, Ta-dun, 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 ta-dun. Ta-dun.
And Theodora, what would you like to do? If you're talking, Theodora, we can't hear you.
Because she's
Because
muted.
I was muted. I'm trying to figure out which enhanced ability would probably help in this situation. I am going because it gives me advantage. Was choose one of the following effects. Okay, I love how it says magically enhance. Oh yes, no advantage. Okay, I'm going to do Cat's Grace
Okay.
on myself because if I fall, it's gonna hurt.
What would you like to do? You cast Cat's Grace. What skill would you like to use in this?
Athletics.
All right. Give me an athletics roll, please.
No, not athletics. Sorry, acrobatics.
Okay.
Inspiration.
But don't you have advantage with enhance ability?
Oh yes, I do.
Ooh.
All right. Give me another roll.
Here we go.
Hey, okay.
Stress me too, Gene.
All right. So, as this creature is hurling away, most of you are able to keep an eye on it and keep track of it. Adita, give me now a survival check with advantage.
This is a pity check. Oh, roll 20. Give me your pity. Ah.
All right.
I'll take your pity, roll 20. At least it's competence.
Let's see. Perfect.
Troll.
So, as you guys, the creature does eventually break your line of sight. Adita, you on the other hand, with your ability, you are able to track the blood that is dripping from the creature from Theodora's bolt.
Ooh,
And-
okay.
And eventually you get to a drainage pipe that is around 6 feet in diameter. And the blood trail leads in there. After some time passes, Nico, Fortuna, Ceres, and Theodora will eventually meet up with Adita in front of this drainage pipe.
I'm assuming that that Fortuna was ensuring that the two sisters made it to the temple. So I'll use that weird missive thing to
Adita, this is Adita, Team Fortuna, Nico. I need you to meet me at the sewage drainage pipe. I'll be sending coordinates. Please meet me as soon as possible.
Wow.
I know, it was just angelic. Like, I don't understand how she could encapsulate such a speech so quickly into such a short amount of time. Truly an inspiration to us all.
You too, Ceres.
Ceres isn't a part of it. He's still chasing the monster.
I can only actually link 3 of us, and I have to be one of them. Currently. Eventually, I'll
So-
be able to link the whole party.
Well, Ceres, you are together with everyone else, by the way.
This isn't a bad idea
Ow,
at all.
I'm running after the monster.
Well, with Adita's skills, she was able to find the drainage pipe. You are actually with Adita.
Oh.
I will
Unless
link
you
back
wanna
the
go in
ladies
by
made it to the
yourself.
temple. I will link back. They made it to the temple just fine. We'll
They
be
were-
there shortly.
They were in the right direction. Yeah. So, now that you're in front of this drainage pipe, what would you like to do?
all of us, or
How much time do I have till we get to the drainage pipe?
Let's say about 15 minutes.
Gosh darn it, not enough for what I wanted. I'll have to wait for him for another time.
All right. So we all make it to the drainage pipe. Yeah?
Yes.
Based on what I see and smell, where does this lead?
Oh, into the sewers, of course.
Ah, traditional exploration.
Perfect. So it smells a little better than it does out here. Gotcha.
Right? At least it's more consistent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, whatever the pork that is,
I
went
don't think
in
it was
here.
pork.
I don't know that it wasn't pork. Remember that whole conversation about how we couldn't tell the beef from the pork and the lamb?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's the biggest meatball I've ever seen, Ceres.
Agreed.
And it went in there.
Agreed. Also, who are you? What are you doing here? Why are you running with us? You go away.
Oh,
No, she's good, Suresh. She's with us.
Ceres, honey, I'm pretty sure running is not what she was doing.
Oh. Well, Nico says you're fine, so you stay here. Don't go away.
You good there, Dave?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay.
So,
I'm Fortuna, and she kind of holds a hand out to Ceres.
Oh, that is a very pretty hand. It doesn't have any markings. You don't do a sword, do you? It's very soft. He's gonna take your hand and just poke the palm of your hand. Very soft hand.
Yeah, no, I do not do the sword thing. I'm very bad at it.
It's okay. So am I. But I got the new one. It talks to me. Shut up. No one asked you.
You know, that could be an interesting point.
What? You shut up too. No one asked you either. I
come
also have a
on.
spirit.
You want to say that again, Ceres?
I also have a spirit that inhabits me. And a mouse
Uh-huh.
that talks.
Hey, how you
I'm
doing,
gonna leave-
Fortuna? My name is Skiz. You see a
Skiz.
little rat
Skiz,
peeking.
this is Fortuna. Fortuna, this is Skiz. I am Ceres. Okay, we should do this. Okay. Adita Fortuna, Fortuna Adita, Nico Fortuna, Fortuna Nico, Theodora Fortuna, Fortuna Theodora, Skiz Fortuna, Fortuna Skiz. I am the Ceres, and this is Sword, and that the voice in my head is voice in head. It apparently does not like cobblers.
I'm gonna
Because you
lead
don't
him
like
to Fortuna.
cobblers.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna lead him into Fortuna. Ceres in puberty.
Yeah.
Noted.
As best we can figure, Ceres in puberty is a bit odd. That said, I couldn't help but take notice of you casting fortunes with a particularly interesting deck. And might be interesting to have you take a look at Ceres's sword later. But first, I've got a meatball to find, so which one of you's coming with?
She goes and just because at this point all guys is dropped. She just goes and cantrips, tools, and trinkets. Just forms straight from the deck. One of her cards origamis into a crowbar, and she starts prying open anything we need.
Well, the good
Very
news is
useful.
there is no grate right now.
Oh,
It's just the pipe.
In we go.
All right, what are we doing?
Drawn a gun, drawn a sword. Lead the way.
What are we doing for light sources?
That's actually gonna tools and trinkets on that one too, because I have that as a cantrip. She's gonna take one of the cards. It's gonna origami itself into a torch.
That was so cool. Can I have it?
I mean, should I? And she looks at Nico and
Theodora's just gonna shake her head.
He's fine. He knows how fire works.
Yes.
Ceres, remember, don't touch the fire.
Yes.
she lets him hold it.
Oh, this is cool. How did you make it fold like that?
Does not look so.
It's
Oh, yeah, that's
a
hot.
parlor trick.
It actually is hot. Someone else hold this. I don't want it anymore.
She takes it.
Okay, Suresh is gonna go ahead and stealth while we do this,
Same.
and he's gonna start going down because I have dark vision.
Okay.
Nice.
Same.
Yep, Nico and Suresh taking the forward advantage.
Does somebody not have dark vision? I don't know if I have dark vision.
I don't
believe I
have
do.
dark vision.
No, I don't. So one thing that I am going to do, because what the heck, I may as well try doing some of these things periodically. Is as I tuck myself into none of the shadows because I can't roll worth anything. I am going to cast about for any small rodents, pests, frogs, whatever might be living around this sewer.
All right. So first things first, please arrange your characters on the map because I think it's much different than we had on here.
Boy.
So who's up first? I believe it's Ceres, correct?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Ceres and
because-
Nico.
I have danger sense, so
You've got
Is
lamb
the-
sense, honey.
it gives me the uncanny ability to know where the tavern manager hid the lamb and to eat it. Wait, no, I'm talking about danger sense.
All right.
It-
Ceres, move yourself up 30 feet.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
All right. Everyone else follow suit.
It's in the Dave.
But yeah, Dave, in case it got missed, I do have dark vision thanks to my class.
Okay.
Classist.
Okay. So
I want to
here.
attempt to roll stealth just to not be all jingly.
Jingle, jingle.
Don't worry, I'll be jingly for you.
All right. So here's what happens. You guys are now proceeding down this this sewer. You're following the blood trail. And Adita, from where you are, you're pointing it out. You're making sure Ceres stays on the path.
Sure.
And as you're doing that, Adita,
Yeah.
you feel like a little like wetness on your leg, followed by a little bit of pressure.
Oh no.
You sense
down.
Adita gets hurled into the air as a tentacle is coming from the water.
And turn and shoot.
Hold on.
Adita, right in the chest.
That's what you see before you.
Will you mimic?
Hey!
And Otiog.
So we'll say Adita is right about here now.
I hate it. Thanks. Nope.
Why?
All right. So now here's what I need. Everyone, make sure you click on your token and roll me some initiative.
Oh, it's actually not a bad
Our
one.
glass.
Wait. Now roll initiative.
Damage.
Are you kidding me, Dave?
Dave can input initiative.
No, it
Yeah.
got you. It got you.
Oh, good, it got me. Never mind.
Yeah.
One time I rolled well. I was about to get really upsetting. I was like, run, 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 run.
That tracks.
Yeah. Yeah. This is about accurate.
How the fuck?
Damn it,
Honestly, being
second.
last isn't the worst position for me.
How do you
Oh
pronounce
my-
that?
Pronounce what?
Atiug?
Yeah.
Yeah, Atug.
Fun
So,
fact, I had to look
D&D
up one
Beyond
of these
says it's
things.
pronounced Odiug.
Odiug.
They
All
can
right.
call it an Odiug, as long as you don't say Odagu, because that's not the order the letters are in.
Odagog.
Ogadog is fine.
Ogadog. It looks like an Ogadog.
I vote for Ogdog.
All right. Nico, you're up first. What do you do?
I'm gonna shoot it in the face.
All right. Roll a d20. Or roll the
D20
hit.
is my attack roll.
Ro-
Okay.
Roll your attack roll. Click.
Put that gun back. Pull the other one.
No.
Fire again.
Go for it. All right, let me see. Will a 17 hit? I hope to God it does.
Me too. What?
Okay, 17 will hit. And how much damage we got?
6.
6 piercing. Okay. All right, noted. Anything else you would like to do, Nico? Your action, bonus action.
I'm gonna hold back here for a second.
Okay. Fortuna Valmihin, you're up.
Is Adita grappled currently by this thing?
Yes, she's currently being dangled upside down.
I'm going to cast Command.
Okay. Let me double check something. And let me bring up the monster. Interesting. What is the save on Command?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay. Where are you? There we go. It's been a while. And what command are you going to give it?
Drop. The target drops whatever it's holding and ends its turn.
All right.
Nice.
Aight.
Okay. You will find out what happens on its turn. Now, Sir Ress, you are up.
How did you pronounce it again, Senora Medusa?
Sir
Odiug.
S.
What?
An Odigu.
I specifically pronounced it not Odigu because that's not the order the letters are in. But you can put them in
Odiug.
whatever order you want.
How did you pronounce it again, though?
Which time?
The first time you said it. 'Cause I like the way that one
Odiug?
sounded. Odiug. I like that one best. Alright, I'm gonna attack the Odiug. And I'm gonna leap forward. Leap! I'm gonna leap into the water! Rah! This is gonna be like that scene out of The Lord of the Rings when they leap into the lake to start just murdering the tentacled
The
monster.
Watcher?
The Watcher, yes.
All right.
Ah!
You are now waist deep. Your movement is halved, but you can still fight in here relatively well.
Well, let me ask you, is it gonna move very far? I don't
Nope.
know. So I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit it hard.
All
but
right.
Not raging.
Not raging. Okay.
No, not raging. Oh, I'm not gonna hit it. An 11. Now, that doesn't hit it, right?
No, it does not.
I'm gonna hit it again. Does a 25 hit it?
A 25 will hit it. And you're allowed to
Okay.
make 2 attacks with your primary weapon?
Yes. No.
I thought you have to.
No, I had to use a claw.
Correct.
Does a 14 hit?
A 14 will hit.
Oh, good. Then 6 damage.
All right. Its turn. All right. It just releases the grip, which is a free action. Adita, you fall into the water.
Okay.
Now it's going to do what it wants to do.
It says drops the target and ends its turn on my command.
Okay. Let me see.
Yeah, I think it spends the round under command, and then it has. So
What language are you using?
Ooh.
Because I think command is a language base.
Let me double check. You speak one word command to a creature that can see within range. The target must. Let's see. Let me grab my languages that I know. Where would I find my languages?
Let me see.
On your character sheet,
Yes.
if you loaded them, hang on, I know where this is on
It
this
should be
one.
under proficiencies next to your inventory on the bottom left-hand corner of your sheet.
Incidentally, I brought Theodora, and she knows things.
I'm gonna use common.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little backtracking here. Adita, you are still being hung by this creature.
Gosh darn
I
it.
am hung.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, by the creature. Yeah, I hate it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely no pork and bueno, Gene.
Also, in regards to command and speaking different languages, the spell itself doesn't deal in different languages being spoken and understanding it, although there is a lot of contention because of how it's written. So I see GMs going both ways on a lot of the D&D Beyond site.
In this case, because the way I'm reading it, where are you here? This spell has no effect if the target is undead, if it doesn't understand your language, or if your command is directly harmful to it.
Dang, I don't see that at all in my reading of the spell. Where is that in the spell description?
That is in my spell list, yeah.
I'm looking at Roll20's description of the spell, and Dave read
I'm
it.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the player's handbook.
I mean, I agree 100%. I just wonder why it's not here.
All right. So the creature is going to unfortunately disregard your command, Fortuna.
All good.
So it's going to now. First, it's going to slap the Saracen that's trying to hit that clawed at it.
But how dare?
So I assume a 21's going to hit, right?
21 will actually hit.
All right, you're going to take this. 8 points of total bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Let's see. Second attack. It's going to go and try to hit you again, Ceres. And I said hit you again. Whee! All right. Take 11 points of damage.
Yep.
And Adita, it's going to lower you with its other tentacle into its mouth and attempt to bite you.
Okay, enough of this tentacle stuff. Adita is not pleased with where this is going.
Oh, no, wait, this is even better. Adita,
No.
give me a Constitution saving throw.
This is not better. I don't see how this is better. This is worse.
All right,
It's worse.
Take 10 points of damage, and you are stunned.
Oh, that's so much worse.
Oh my. This is so worse.
All right, Adita, it's your turn.
No, it isn't.
Theodora!
She's stunned. Clarification. How long did it take for us to get from point A to point B outside?
Not too long.
I still have Cat's Grace then because enhanceability is up to an hour, so I have concentration. Just to note.
Okay, what would you like to do?
Can I shoot? Is the thing dangling Adita over its mouth still?
No, actually, it took its
Okay.
tentacle and bam, it slammed Adita on the side of the wall.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot the tentacle to make it let go of Adita.
Roll the hit.
Okay. This thing. What? I still have inspiration.
Yes, you actually, I think, are the only one with the inspiration left.
Inspiration. Okay, that's better.
Okay, no click. You fire your gun, but nothing. But you miss.
I'll take a miss over a jam.
All right. Let's see.
My
After,
action.
would you like to do anything for your bonus action or your move action?
I mean, I'd love to do my bonus action, but I can't get. I'm not gonna get close to that thing, so no.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. I will hold off. Yeah, I'm done.
All right, Nico, you're up.
Dave, real quick, it is 10 o'clock,
Okay.
and we are at the top of the order if you wanted to call it here for right now. Or you guys can continue and you can take over Ceres, however you'd prefer.
You know what? Let's then call it here for tonight.
Because roll 20 is starting to yeah.
Starting. Roll 20 started the night with a bullseye on my forehead. It's just broadening its spread to the rest of you.
I mean, Ceres
Our guy is
started with.
right. Roll 20 hates everyone. Everyone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Roll 20 is a pain in the butt.
Charlie Debs, tune in at 8 p.m. next Thursday. I promise you, this will end badly.
So
for me and some of the rest of us.
let's move back over here.
I have two first level spell slots. I have it for heals.
So
I was thinking about doing the I was thinking about doing it, but I was like, no, let me hold off just in case.
So, everyone, we're going to call it here for the evening. So, make sure you tune in next week, Thursday, 8 p.m., and hopefully we'll have the dramatic conclusion of this particular story. I would like to now take the time and thank each and every one of my players for being here. The first one I want to thank is my buddy Ceres, aka Slev. And this is the time where I allow my players to plug any other projects that they are working on. Ceres, go.
I'm currently not working on anything, and yeah.
Do you have anyone you would like us to keep an eye out for?
No, I'm very happy the Gritting Gamer last night reached their $1,200 goal to be able to move.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, thank you for that update. That's adorable.
That's fantastic news. All right. Adita, anything from you?
Hey, yes. Hi, I'm Heidi Hogart and I play Adita. I don't stream anywhere else. However, I am currently working on a couple of awesome projects that I can't wait to share with you guys. So when you have a minute, check out the Bloodline Chronicles by author Evelyn Silver. Yours truly is narrating the series, and you'll be able to pick it up on Audible soon.
Okay. Nico. What do you got, my bad?
I was wondering where that echo was coming from for a second. Like,
Oops.
wait, what?
Oh, it's not me, but I'm not dead either.
All right, well, hi. I'm Mars, and you could also catch me Monday nights on Random Encounter Productions for the Disaster and Danger games. Right now, we're kind of stuck in the Feywild, and there's mummies, and most of us have mummy rot. It's a bad time. Come watch us die.
Okay. And Fortuna, what projects are you working on?
I happen to also be part of that crazy Monday night game. I'm probably the only member of the party that does not have mummy rot, but
You also have a +7 to con. Come on.
Anything else you want to plug? Any art stuff?
currently not really. What I do have coming up is I'm hoping to get a table very soon at a con called QuestCon here in Orlando. Definitely check out QuestCon. It's a very small con. They're only just starting up, but it's basically going to be like a D&D style tabletop RPG convention coming up in August here in Orlando.
All right. Sounds good. And Theodora.
Hello,
AK?
I'm Shadow Shura. I stream here on my channel, on my own channel, but I also love playing with these guys. It's awesome. We'll be playing Pokemon later tonight.
make sure you tune in to watch that. As for myself, my name is GM Dave. I'm your host for Roleplay Games. We are a variety channel that has a variety of video games, TTRPGs, and occasionally fitness. And sometimes, if you're watching me play a video game, you can make me do the fitness live on stream. So
It's
make sure
fun.
make sure you come in and you spend those channel points to watch me work out for your amusement. And the way we always end this channel before we go, remember, every single day, do something for your mental health, do something for your physical health. You are an awesome person and you deserve to go on your grand epic adventure like my heroes over here. So take care of your life because you only get one. And we love you and we want you to take care of yourself. And with that being said, we are going to go ahead and raid someone. I'm going to raid my friend Gene Starwin. He's a good cat. I always appreciate when he comes into the stream and hangs out for a bit. He's also good friends with all of us here as well. So show him some love, show him some support, and make sure you give him a follow. And remember, adventurers, to always, and I mean always, crit those gains! And we'll see you on the next stream. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day.